Hello, everyone. Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, March 17th, 6:35 p.m. Thank you so much for joining. We are live. We're going to be today. Obviously, we come in with some. Overall, to me, it was a really good game by the Lions. I think if you grab all the good and the not so good, I believe that there's signs of massive improvement for the team. We're going to discuss all of that and more. New York Red Bulls wasn't really the team that I expected him to be. I thought Choupo-Moting was very, very influential in their attack, more than Forsberg in this game. And overall, I believe Kyle Smith and Alex Freeman did a tremendous job. Um, it was that battle between Choupo-Moting and Jansen as well, which caused Jansen to also have a couple of I don't know, dissent calls that weren't necessary in my book. But we'll discuss all of that and more. We're also going to be talking about 2024 start versus 2025 start. Um, you know, we're going to be talking about the first four games in comparison. The OCB update, DC United. We're going to predict the lineup and score predictions. Well, here is me. John is with me and Paola. John, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. You're muted.
I'm muted. Yep. Great start to the weekend. I'm great, man. Yeah, it was as predicted, a draw in Red Bulls. Some good, some bad. We'll get into all of that. OCB, of course, always exciting to see what's going on with the youth. Overall, man, pretty good. Can't complain.
Hi, Paola. How are you? Good to see you.
Doing good. Was just watching the highlights from the game on Saturday to refresh my mind to the pod, but I'm doing wonderful. Wish it was a win, but it's a tie, not a L, so I prefer a point. Better than nothing. But I'm good.
Fantastic. So we'll start with Orlando City at New York Red Bulls. I do want to say this was a game that they have back-to-back road games. Lost against New York City FC, and then obviously play against the Red Bulls. Orlando, it was an all-out battle on possession. Orlando, in my opinion, had the best attack of them too. But we allowed, I guess, again conceded 2 goals, which ultimately ended into a 2-2 draw. They had plenty of chances to definitely could have gone their first road win of the year. But individual performances, I'm impressed. I want to start by saying hello to Joran Gerbet. I felt that his game was tremendous against the Red Bulls. Joran Gerbet, a lot of people say, hey, we didn't get Messi, we didn't get Ronaldo, we didn't get all these players. But I mean, I'm telling you, Joran Gerbet gave you something a little bit different than Cesar. I believe that Cesar is already used to that position for already 2 seasons. This guy comes in, young guy, 93% accuracy on passes, 52 attempts, long balls. He didn't shoot the ball, but he carried the ball a lot. He really had a really good sync with Atuesta, in my opinion. 3 interceptions. He shined. He definitely picked up into what Araujo, I believe, has a little bit of trouble. He drew 4 fouls, which could have been 4 important set pieces for Orlando. And we would obviously taken advantage of the situations, but overall, I feel Joran was a high point. What are your thoughts on the rookie, Paola?
I mean, you just said it. It's a little bit different of Araujo versus him, but he didn't look like a rookie. Like I felt that when I watched him, it was like that connection. Like he was playing for a long run with Orlando City, and the stat doesn't lie. Like I'm watching here, accurate long balls 100%. It was only one, but he did had a good game for me. So I'm not concerned if Araujo doesn't come to the next game. I don't know why Araujo was out, right? But I feel confident. Like it's someone that we can rely on, and it's not like someone that is bench and we're like, oh my god, here comes him. We're screwed. No, we can be at peace with this player. I don't know about you, John, but
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, Luis, you say tremendous, but it's tremendous for the level of expectation that we have Joran Gerbet, right? Like
hmm
he played a solid game in Demon. I don't think he was like incredible, but I think that like from what we expected being like, oh, Cesar's not starting, last minute pull out. We don't have Wilder in there. It's already, perhaps caused upset this year. Then you take Cesar out and you put in a guy who's essentially a rookie. It's concerning, right? But he didn't look like he was a rookie in there. And I think that's where, Luis, you're saying like great performance from him from the perspective of he looked comfortable. And like you're saying, Paula, we can probably be comfortable with him being in that D mid position going forward. I feel like he just does the same things that we had last year, Kaczewski doing, but he does it all better. And it kind of
that was
maybe
my
if
favorite, yeah.
if they knew that they were going to bring Gerbet in, maybe it kind of shows why they were like, okay, Kaczewski, you can go because this guy's going to be almost a like for like, but probably better. And I feel like he's just more, I want to say, calm on the ball, and that's what you need. And also the fact that he was next to Atuesta, who I think had a really great game. He got in, MLS Team of the Week for this one. But Atuesta, as we all know, is not the best defensively. I don't blame him for that. I just think it's just not the what that's not what we want him to be in there. We want him to be in there making passes all the time, not that guy that's going to have to absorb in front of the back line. And I think Gerbet did a really good job partnering with Atuesta and finding that balance throughout the game. So yeah, I think great, sort of shout out for him because he's one that kind of went under the radar in this match, but did actually do really well for his first start.
Yeah, I mean, designated players again. To me also they made quite of a difference. I think having Pasalic scored again, and beating Carlos Coronel, that was great to see. Ojeda and Muriel with that play. That goal contribution Muriel did was tremendous. Another good game by Luis Muriel, even though some people still want to call him Tubby. I do feel like
I'm having to eat my words each week with Muriel, man. He's
he's really contributing into a lot of the attack. But we'll read some comments real quick here, and then we'll continue with the analysis. James Regis says Gerbet did well If he did make a mistake, he worked twice as hard after to recover. Yeah, I think everyone has that mentality in the team. That's something Oscar, I believe, installs on the players. If you lose the ball, you try to get it back. Giorgio says it's time for Otero, and I'm really curious because I don't know which other teams in the MLS has a good couple of goals. Good as we have, it won't be easy versus DC, but I feel positive. Yeah, we'll see what Otero can bring to the table. He's a good keeper for sure. This is good evening, guys. How you doing? I feel positive after the draw against the Red Bulls. We show improvements. Unfortunately, Johnson contributed to the victory while Gallese looked good and did what a save he did. Yeah, I think Gallese, you know, definitely had a really good game. Um, but yeah, let's talk about that a little bit before we go into the some of the highlights. Jansen came back. People said we miss Robin Jansen, in the last episode. We miss our captain, but he just came and he kind of reminded me of the old man from the movie Up. He was just frustrated. He was upset. He was angry. He was yelling at the refs. And again, he got booked by dissent. Probably I mean, you could definitely read the lips. He said the, F off to the ref. And then in the 72nd minute, a lot of people try to pin into defensive errors that might have sparked from, the back line, especially the goalkeeper. But in the 72nd minute, which we'll see, Jensen had the ball taken off his foot in the midfield. And if it wasn't for the guy that was like crucified on the last game, Pedro Gallese, Orlando would have probably lost the game. So I feel like, you know, I feel that Robin, he was a little rusty coming back. Now, is he a great center back? 110%. Is he gonna get better? I feel he's going to get better. Typically, I see between our center back duo, and I don't know if John agrees with me or not, who's the most erratic of them two. And usually it's been Rodrigo, right? That's a little bit of a hothead. But I mean, Jensen was fuming. Now, I don't know. What are your thoughts regarding his performance?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think Jansen, he can't coming back from injury. He's a guy that, like, when he's on form, he's really good. But when
Yeah,
he's, I think, a step behind, he can't, keep up with the game a little bit sometimes. Not always, but sometimes it definitely looks like that. And he starts to kind of get a bit frustrated and a bit annoyed. And I think it all started off with Choupo-Moting early in the game. The two of them started like Choupo-Moting is a guy
he was annoying,
that
man.
he is a guy, and I know this because obviously he played for Stoke. He's a guy that is like a journeyman of Europe, in the sense that, like, he knows all the tricks of the trade, and this is exactly how he got that goal, in my opinion, for the penalty. Was, a classic striker move: stick your foot across the defender and get him to foul you in the box, draw the penalty. Jansen saw he did that. He was so annoyed at the ref for giving that. That was like, how stupid are you? He obviously, did that on purpose. Choupo-Moting did not like his reaction. There was another time later in the game where he did a foul on Jansen. Jansen like got up, was really mad, and was in his face. It was like, epic wars of Jansen versus Choupo. I was all about it. Jansen kind of lost a little bit of the battles. He didn't have the best game. There's definitely that moment you talked about there where Pedro bailed us out 100%, because Jansen's just a little bit too casual with it, man. Like that one touch is just not good enough. And then, I'm a bit too slow. And now you're on me, and okay, you're in. And that's like so many of our goals this year, is just pressure on the back line, silly mistakes from Schlegel or Brekalo or Jansen or your center backs, the guys who are supposed to be the most reliable and like calm under pressure and on the ball. So, I think not great from Jansen, but like you said, Luis, I have him to be our defender of the year. I think he's going to have a real big comeback. I know everyone's like, yo, father time, but I believe we've got one great last season from Jansen, and I think you'll see it later in the season.
I mean, it's a long
He's just
season, John.
he's
So
still coming back from injury, and he's like
yeah,
34. And,
Yeah, he's a little
not
rusty.
every game he's gonna be good. Like there's
Yeah.
gonna be games where just like every one of our players. I think that's something people forget sometimes. Is they're all in MLS for a reason. They're none of them are the complete finished article, and if they are, they're too good and they get scooped up and out of the league anyway. So, like all of these players have something that is like you want to improve in their game, and Jansen's is probably that he's getting a bit slow now, but still a great player.
You were going to say something, Paula, regarding Jensen?
no, I was gonna say like he's probably rusty, and John said it like he has it as the defender of the year, but it's a long season. Come on, it's like what, this is the fourth game. So when he came out of the
Although I was questioning my
injury,
take after that horrible
I know
touch.
you're like, I have them for as the defender of the year. Stick with it, John. No, but I think he will. I think he will like recoup himself, see film. I mean, sometimes he forgets that he's the captain and he needs to keep calm, right? And that didn't happen on Saturday. And thank God that Gallese saved that other goal because it was all on him on that loss of the ball, that possession that he had. He was under pressure. Two attackers, Chupo and I don't remember who was the other one. And Galese was there. So I think he's gonna see
Jengar was
film,
the other one.
obviously. Who was? Jengar?
Jengar.
Jengar?
Yeah,
Jengar.
Yeah.
He's like from Norway, right?
Yeah, he
No?
was playing right back last game, and then they put him at right wing.
That's
But he
why.
is really an
Okay.
attacker, so yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's definitely a match that it was a little bit of a giveaway from Orlando City, and also giveaways from the Red Bulls that Orlando City took a lot of the opportunities. The second goal was, like John was saying, Jengar unmarked on the near post. A
Jensen.
very easy goal. Again, Orlando had 15 shots, 7 on target, 2 in the back of the goal. So that's, think about it, 15 shots, 7 on target, and only 2 in. Obviously, Carlos Coronel is one of the top goalkeepers in the MLS too. So, obviously, people lament, and I agree too. There's 2 instances that Orlando could have gone ahead. The first one was that Pasalic drive, and he tripped, right? And I don't know if it was the pitch. I don't know if it was just him, and then the second one was the Duncan Ramiro connection. And unfortunately, Duncan, he's again coming back. And we said it here. He was going to come back early because he was part of the preseason.
Although he surprised even us, like by a long way.
Surprise! I mean, we get another striker, guys. This is great for us. I think. I mean, having Duncan McGuire back, I think it's tremendous. But those 2 chances would have put Orlando easily 4-2, and that would have been it. That would have been a great win against the top contender in the East. Now, I do want to say, I mean, this is it's a roller coaster ride, the MLS, man. Now we're playing at home. We're playing in front of our crowd, and I feel things may sink a little better. Obviously, we don't have Pedro Gallese for this game. I do want to say we don't have Pedro because he's going to be playing with Peru. But we have the great opportunity of seeing Javier Otero and see what he got. So let's read some comments and then go with some of the highlights real quick. Daniel Phillips: Robin may be a captain in spirit, but he doesn't seem to actually have any real leadership skills. No, I think he's a leader. I just think that he just was rusty, and just like John said, the unpredictability of Choupo-Moting. It was, it was his first game. Choupo-Moting wanted to set us. He wanted to have the. I guarantee you, Choupo-Moting isn't going to have that big of a game next game. It's going to cost him for him to have this type of level performance he had. Because I don't know if you felt, Paola, this, but it felt like both teams in the second half, minute 80, they were both with the tongue out. They were tired. They were exhausted. It was a back and forth game. A lot of the pundits said that it was the best game of the week because it was so like action packed. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, absolutely. And we were tied. Like they were like trying to see who will commit the error first so they can score a goal. So they wanted to win the game. We wanted to win the game. Of absolutely. It was physical. It hello, it was a rivalry for us because who we faced the last game last year. It was in the final. So we had that, bad blood situation. So of course it was gonna be physical.
Carlos Mejia, Muriel stepping up. Pasalic was good, but I cursed at my TV when he tripped, says Carlos. Thank you. We only had 2 goals in the first 4 games of the season. I'm pleased with the offense so far. There you go. Thank you so much, Daniel. Appreciate it. Let's watch some of the highlights real quick here. And hold on right here. Let me see if I can pull it up. There you go. So this is how obviously the Red Bulls lined up. Our friend from the designated players, Andrew, I believe, right? Andrew, he was talking about Raheem Edwards.
Yeah. Oh, that really paid off for us.
Yeah,
Raheem Edwards he was like their most advanced player at times. You'll see.
I'm telling you, Freeman had him on check, man. Freeman, that young cat, man, is balling. Kudos to him. He completely annihilated Edwards. Stroud, 60 minutes in, 60th minute, he was already tired. He was fumed. He was out.
Stroud was dirty all game, man.
He was dirty. Yep.
He should have he should have had a yellow in the first half, at least, in my opinion.
The Nealis brothers, I feel like they defended pretty well, especially Sean, kind of in a way. But I feel Forsberg was also very well handled by the midfield. I think both Gerbet and Atuesta did tremendous. Jengar was, I think, one of the most dangerous men they had with Choupo-Moting, sitting really deep too. To the point that you will see Jengar being kind of like a striker at times. So, and then us right here with Gerbet getting the call for the start, number 35. And I don't know if you do want to say it, but I do want to say this. God bless Kyle Smith, man. In Kyle Smith we trust, bro.
Yeah, he's the Swiss Army knife of defenders, man. He can, where do you want to put him? He can do a job anywhere. It doesn't matter.
What a player, man.
I mean, to be honest, when I saw Carl Smith in that position, I'm like, whew. I'm like, I trust Smith besides Santos, just saying.
Yeah, I was like, oh, no Cesar. Then I was like, wait a minute. Kyle Smith, hello.
You know who was the person, according to the stats that I have here, who touched the ball the most in the whole entire game?
Smith?
Kyle Smith, 76 times. He completed over 80% of his passes. So he was very active, but he had a really good game, and one thing I really love about Kyle is that he makes defending look so simple. He just clears the ball and he just clears it. He doesn't wants to do the nutmeg first or drive it forward and then stop. He does it very simple. I think that's the way you should do it. Stream G says also the new intro is pretty cool. Luis looks like 21. Thank you so much. Respect where respect is due. Coronel is one hell of a keeper. That's right. Just because he's Brazilian. Can we talk about the Rafa Maguire miss in the last minute? We almost had it. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
We have 3 chances that we should had capitalized, to be honest.
Let's go through the highlights. We'll see them.
Yeah, let's go through the highlights right here. So let's start with this.
both the right wing back for Red Bulls and the right sided centre back, they've gone forward. They've been bypassed. Here is, does the centre forward sort of create this by putting his foot forward?
So let's start with the
Ojeda
goal, right?
Play from him when the ball comes into him. It's his awareness of runners in behind him.
And
it's Yengo who you
well,
want
that's
to
the save of
stretch the game.
Pedro right here.
Yeah, and that's Smith clearing it out. Boom. Bye.
So it's his awareness of runners in behind him. And it's Yengo who you want to stretch the game. Getting on the wrong side of the Orlando defence ends up being a really big save from Gallese. It's come under a lot of criticism, but that was a huge save. Because then what Orlando...
And then this right here was just a beautiful play, man. You know, that's a beautiful pass by Muriel.
Don't want to do is like this, take advantage of the space. It's been
Ojeda, which to me he stepped up tremendously as well. I know.
Long range shot, goal!
What was your thought about that goal, John? You said one time that he was going to get one of those goals.
They've gone forward. They've been bypassed. Here is does the centre forward.
Yeah, man. You want to pause it? Okay, sorry, I can't hear. Yeah, I mean it is a great goal. He absolutely smacks it from miles out. I think it's amazing to me that they let him have that much time and space on the ball and not close him down. Like, he's on the edge of the box. And I thought in my head, I was like, do they not know that Ojeda will just rip one? Like, and they were like trying to get back to him, but there was a second there where I was like, y'all didn't react fast enough, in my opinion. And he's driving in the box. They're looking at all the passing options. They think, oh, you know, he's on his right foot. Like, he might not be. And he's like, I don't care. I'll just hit it from here. An absolute banger into the top corner. I mean, I jumped up out of my seat. I mean, an incredible goal. Like, this is the Martin Ojeda. And I think right after this, the commentators talked about the stat of like, since, I don't know what it was, but since we put him in the 10, it's just been like all go. And this is another example of the guy can pass, but he can also shoot from an absolute mile out and put it in the back of the net.
Yep, and then we're gonna watch the second goal for Orlando real quick. I don't know if you want to watch the Red Bulls penalty. I mean, we already talked about that.
Good.
I mean, I think, like, I was messaging Bob from Designating Pundits. He was at this game, sitting in the media section, which is actually on this corner, like above here. So he was looking right at it. He didn't think it was a penalty. He's like, sorry, he thinks it was a penalty. He says, regardless, it doesn't matter. We're just contact. But there is stuff in the rules that says the player that initiates. And if you see right here, Jansen is clearly reaching for the ball in front of him. Choupo-Moting makes the move across Jansen with his foot.
Yeah, he just puts his foot in front,
which is like I said, a classic striker move. So there is stuff in the rules, and a lot of refs will say like, oh, he's making the move, so therefore it's not the defender's fault. And some refs will see that an allowance. The ref here clearly didn't, and he was just like, yeah, like it's a foul. And like it was pulled up by the sideline referee, that it went to VAR. Then he came back to look at it. Then he has, oh, actually, no, I got it wrong. It's like, I just think there's too many examples of this in MLS where we're looking at stuff, then you're going to go back from a play that you decided in real time wasn't a foul, and then you're going to come back and overanalyze it until you find something you go, oh, actually, it was a penalty. Like,
and he didn't even explain like the new rule of MLS, explaining
it's literally like it's supposed to be common sense, Paula. Like any ref worth their salt who's smart and been in the game long enough knows that that's what an attacker is going to do. They're going to put themselves across the defender coming in for the ball to make it look like a foul. And I just think this one was weak. So yeah, a really weak penalty. And I think Jansen got really pissed off and then couldn't calm down after that. And I could understand why, because this is rookie stuff, in my opinion. You shouldn't be falling for that.
Sure, it's
but other people will say we're just complaining.
It's pro referees, John. The expectations are they're definitely very again, hopefully they're not the ones who are the judges.
Knows what he's doing, and he plays the innocent card well. Yeah. So it's like
yeah, anyway. He playing top clubs, man. He's
like
around.
I've seen him do this for Stoke. That's how I exactly knew what he was doing. I was like, yo, he's done this. He did it for Bayern time and time again.
He did it for
the
Bayern,
Bundesliga, man. So he's a smart, intelligent striker, and he won that battle.
So why did he shut up his own crowd? That's a funny thing. Look, he just went. Now this is the second goal for Orlando City. Now, Atuesta, man, I'm telling you, the DPs this season are coming up big time. And I think Atuesta, I don't know how people can say that they don't trust Atuesta. Like, you gotta be on crack cocaine. I'm sorry, but like you gotta be on something, dude. Like, I mean, this is not convincing to you. You can go. I buy you. I buy you a ticket to see the Orlando Valkyries. You can see volleyball, man. I'm telling you.
I think people just are really uncomfortable with the fact that we don't have our like two really defensive double pivot in there, and I for me, like I don't understand why people are afraid of being a more attacking, aggressive team. Isn't that what everybody wants? Like, you want to see more,
right? It's what everybody wanted last season. Right?
There's been more goals. Like, it's more open. The games are more exciting. There's more goals. Like, yeah, we're conceding, but we're scoring more than ever. So Atuesta is a big part of that, because the guy turns every time and smashes the ball up the field. He's not Wilder and says, where it's like, let me just look for a nice pass. It's like, now I'm going to take you on and I'm going to slap it up the field. So I feel like this was an absolute killer game from him, man. And I think it shows that he is going to make us a more aggressive attacking team. Yes, we're going to miss out defensively, but I think we can find other guys to help out defensively and be okay.
I think that's what the people don't understand. They expect him to be like Wilder, and he's not a Wilder type of player. That's all.
I want entertaining soccer. I want entertaining soccer. I'm tired of the puppy specials, man.
There's no puppy specials this year. I'll tell you that.
I mean, no puppy specials this year, man. Of the team, like MLS bench of the week, not bench, the starting lineup of the week of whatever. So I mean, we have a caliber player. It's not we replaced Cartagena with a good player.
Oh yeah, he was the second highest rated player for us on. I think our highest rated player actually on FootMob and SofaScore this week. He got an 8.4 on one. Like last week he didn't play well, and like that's gonna happen. He's gonna have some teams where he balls out against and other teams where he doesn't. But considering the fact that our midfield in this game was Gerbet and Atuesta, we did pretty well.
We did pretty well. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Now, I do want to say, obviously, the whole part of the backline conceding goals, I mean, that's going to get better. I think Jens is going to get into rhythm. He's rusty. I think Rodrigo shows us being solid. I'm just concerned about when Rafa Santos came in, like I didn't see really anything from him when Cal came out. So that's one thing that I'm kind of worried. But let's look at Atuesta's pass, because I mean the way these newcomers are connecting in the attacking third, it's what the fans want. Right there, just the vision. Look at that.
Ooh, and Marco being so slick
and
right there. Boom.
Both center backs, Nealis and Hack, completely out of position. Like, and one thing about Pasalic is he doesn't do that extra touch, John. You know what I mean? Typically, last year Orlando would have probably missed this goal.
Or not do that pass at all. Like, I haven't seen that kind of pass in our games.
You feel like last year Orlando probably would have missed this goal?
I just think, like Paula said, we didn't do this kind of passing, and I feel that's what I was saying before, and I've been saying like so far this year is we're way more aggressive in the attack, and by that I mean we're much like at times we're so direct. I mean, there was a one Muriel up to, I can't remember who he passed it up to, but somebody, it went like Pedro to Muriel to like a strike on goal. Like, it's that direct sometimes. So I feel like we, will have games where we sit and build up, but a lot of the time we're looking for forward balls. We're looking for over the top balls. We're looking for guys to make runs. Like Oscar's talked about how he wants his 9 to make runs and draw the defenders, and we're not passing it back and forth left and right as much as we were in years before. I genuinely see that difference. People might say like Oscar wants to play like that and he just can't, but I don't think that's true. I think we've intentionally gone out and looked for players in Pasalic and Atuesta who are gonna be more comfortable on the ball, can turn into half spaces, can take guys on, are willing to hold the ball and not feel so under pressure where they have to just give a side pass. They can get their head up, look around, and make a forward ball, and that way we can attack way more aggressively, and we're getting more chances of more goals than we ever had before.
110% agree on that. I do also want to add and mention two more players that stood out for me. Alex Freeman, again, obviously more of like in a way on the physical side, a tougher test for him. Raheem was Edwards physically, I think, gave him a run for his money too, but I think Freeman overcame that hurdle, and in the end, Raheem kind of fell through and Freeman kind of shined. He had over 65 touches, I believe, 87% of his passes completed. Very comfortable, very confident. 2 key passes in the attacking third. He didn't cross this game as much, he was always playing through the middle, through the box, or into the box. But definitely defensively, he was solid, 4 tackles, I believe, a couple of clearances. So Freeman, to me, this is tougher competition, if you pick, Red Bulls weren't in the Eastern Conference Finals for no reason. They're a really good team, and Freeman pretty much winning the battle against one of their starting left backs. It's great. It's a great sign for what's to come. Anything else you guys want to add about this game, John, that I may be forgetting?
Yeah, I want to really give a shout out to Oscar because I feel like this game tactically he nailed it, and I think sometimes people question his tactics, but I believe in this one he got it all right. We kind of sat back a bit deeper, eliminated the space for the Red Bulls to play. They want to draw you out and get you out so that they can do the quick counterattacks on you. We didn't really allow them that space. We made it difficult for them to play into Choupo-Moting a lot of the time, which is what they want to do. We frustrated and kept Forsberg out of the game. And then later on in the match, I know a lot of people were like, why did we bring off Martin Ojeda? And I at the time was like, oh, why is he bringing off Martin? But I look back and I genuinely think it was a really good move. And I think that the formation change that we saw there into going into a 5-back where you had the 3 center backs, and then you got Rafa Santos, who was kind of playing like a left wing back. And I think Alex Freeman was still on at that point, a right wing back. And then a few other guys, and you ended up with kind of Ramiro Enrique and Duncan up top almost in a combo. Dagger Dan came in for Martin Ojeda just to really help out that midfield, because Gerbet and Atuesta, the game was starting to get away from them in the midfield. We're starting to get overrun by Forsberg and co. in the middle of the park. Dagger comes in, shores things up, does what Dagger can do, because you put him anywhere, he'll just get you the ball and hold the ball and play. So Dagger did a great job there. It made us more defensively solid in that 5-back, and we still were able to create a couple chances and should have really scored. If Carlos Coronel hadn't had, an insane game, we would have won that game 3-2. Yeah, sure. So Oscar made the moves, in my opinion, and the tactical changes, yes, to kind of make sure we didn't concede, but also allowed us to get more chances in the game where we'd kind of gone a little bit stale by that point in the second half. And then as the game kind of, at the end of the match, it was much more, chances for Orlando City. So shout out to Oscar. I feel like this one, he got right. And, if he can do that more and more often, then he's going to win more and more games.
Oh, and also the confidence he shows with his squad and the bench, who's coming behind the starting lineup. It's tremendous. I feel it's it tells you that, he's not afraid of taking Ojeda out. Also, Ojeda was kind of he needed to recharge his batteries, and
Yeah, I
also
mean, we
you
can't
want to
play Ojeda 90 every game.
right. So I feel like that change was really smart as well. Paula, anything else you want to add regarding the Red Bulls Orlando game?
No, I'm good. I was gonna say, right now Atuesta is sitting as a leader for most assists. He has 3 in the team. Just
Awesome.
saying, just throwing that
Yeah.
out there.
And who has him for most assists in the prediction of the year, Paula?
Huh? You?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember you guys all picked Ojeda, and I was like, I don't know how about Tuesta. So Johnson, defender of the year, not looking so hot a pick, but
I just can't trust the Twister, man. I just
it's
can't
all
trust him.
bad.
Ojeda is not even in the bracket right there.
Yeah,
I'm
all right.
screwed.
I also want to say shout out to Brecalo, who came back. Right?
Yeah,
Duncan
good.
Coming back, awesome. The shoulders fixed. All the shoulders are fixed. Brecalo's and Duncan's, which is awesome to see, because we'll talk about DC later, but I really hope Brecalo could be another guy back in the center back position for us.
Well, there's bad news there, John. I have to tell you.
No, he's not injured again.
Brecalo is with
he's with Slovenia.
I feel that every
I
time that he
forgot
gets injured and he
now he's away.
he goes to Slovenia. Dang it.
No,
this is literally exactly what happened last year. I swear he got it fit and then went away to Slovenia. He's gonna get injured and come back injured.
No, don't jinx it, man.
Man, look, Kyle Smith cannot catch a cold, man.
I'm knocking on wood. Kyle Smith definitely.
Kyle Smith forever, bro.
Can we just duplicate Kyle Smith and then just have 3 of them, or 4 Kyle Smiths in the team? Anyway, we're losing it. We're losing it here. But also, shout out to the subs. They did come on and make a difference. Caraballo didn't get on for this one, or
no,
Taifi.
Man.
Taifi was signed short-term contract. Caraballo signed permanently officially. Now. Is an Orlando City player at the age of 16. So
now, are people going to criticize that too? I mean, you're talking about
Caraballo at 16. They better not.
I mean, I think it's a phenomenal move.
No, they can't have that.
I think that's a great move for the future. I think
I can't I understand young players, but you cannot tear them down at a teenage age. They are not a fully developed player yet. So until they're 21, 22, 23, they're nowhere near what the player they could potentially be is. So, I don't want to start tearing down our youth. That's not a good idea.
You have no right in criticizing Caraballo. All right.
Yeah, the kid is a 16-year-old baller. I got nothing but respect for. I wish I was that cool at 16. I mean, that's awesome. He's out there playing with all these guys, these men, these 35-year-old men. He's twice his age.
He's promising. And I saw crazy. It when he went in on the Miami game preseason when he took over. I'm like, look at this kid. He's not afraid of anything. So I'm pumped for him.
I'm pumped. We've got that 16-year-old starlet out there, man. Just like every other club that's big in MLS, you gotta have that youth star.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna be switching gears here, and then we're gonna be comments in just a moment. But we're gonna show this chart right here that John made.
Yeah,
very, very, very imposing.
I went into the kitchen and I cooked up a chart.
So, this year, goals wise, offensively, I think Orlando is making a much better season than last year, especially beginning of the season. Obviously, defensively, we've conceded 10 goals in 4 games. So with that, I'll give it to John so we can kind of dissect on our form in 2024 in the first 4 games, and then our form this year in 2025. John.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is something we talked about. I talked about before. I know you guys feel like it too, and other people who talk about Orlando City out there on social media, I've seen them talking about it as well, that they feel like this year the defense is the same issues, but the offense is way better than last year. And I wanted to go and see is that actually true? Do we look at the proof of the pudding from the last 4 games of this season and the beginning of last season? And it kind of shows right here that 9 goals scored in the first 4 games of this year versus the 2 goals scored in the first 4 games of last year is really the difference between, in my opinion, why I'm feeling more optimistic than I was at this point last year. I'm definitely confident we can turn this around. Once we clean up the defense, if we're still getting that sort of, 2.5 average goals a game, and we're only conceding, 1 or 0.5 a game, maybe get some clean sheets in there, then we're really going to be, getting wins regularly. So we need to keep this offense going and just clean up the defense like we did last year. And then things will really be rolling. I know people don't want to hear it. I know it's like, oh, we should start really well. I agree. Am I happy that Pedro and Jensen have decided to start the year badly? No one's happy about that. But in reality, I wanted to see, apples for apples, where are we going to be? What, assuming they do turn it around, which evidence has shown the last couple of years that they will. How fast they will remains to be seen. But as soon as that defense figures out how to get a clean sheet again, as long as the goals are going in, we're going to be getting wins. I'm very encouraged by the 9 goals and the average of 2.25 over 4 games this year versus the average of 0.5 over the first 4 games of last year. Goals against is like exactly that. We could see the 10 goals. So defensively is the exact same start as last year. Bad for sure. The Miami game last year really, didn't help this stat and like the XG and everything. And the XG against this year in the first 4 games technically is worse, I think, because Pedro's XG against has been like one of the worst in the league. Not super blaming him, but like stats wise, it's been killing him. So that's why I feel like that's there. But in terms of actual goals that we conceded against, it's the same. So, and I feel like some of the teams we played in the beginning of the season actually might have been better than some of the teams we played at the beginning of last season. Like Rebels and Philly are actually a very good team.
Very good team
this year. Whereas really last year in that opening 4, Miami and Atlanta, yes, were the 2. But maybe you can say I'm picking holes there. But overall, definitely more goals this year at the beginning of the year. And something I didn't put in here, someone commented on X about like individual stats, and they said like Facu last year versus Pasalic, right? So Facu had 0 in the first 4 games. Pasalic has like, I think like what, 2 and 3 and an assist or something like that.
Yeah.
And Luis Muriel is the other one that I wanted to look at in the first 4 games. So the first 4 games of 2024, well, the first game he didn't even play, but because he wasn't even here yet. But his first 4 games, he had obviously 0 goals, 0 assists. And in the first 4 games of 2025, Luis Muriel is a contributing DP. Let's all have a round of applause for Luis Muriel. With 1 goal and 3 assists. He's averaging either a goal or an assist every single game. If you can do that all season, Luis Muriel, I like I said, I will eat a hat somehow. I'll make a hat and eat it. So impressive indeed. So the offense is clicking. Let's get the defense fixed, and hopefully these draws will turn into wins and these losses will turn into draws.
So we are on what it's colloquially speaking upward trend. So we're on an upward trend. If you measure the positives and the negatives seem like they're the same negatives as last year. It takes a little bit of the defense to get it together. We had Brecalo out. We've had also to adapt one newcomer into the team, which is Alex Freeman. So we had Jensen out, so
we had Duncan coming back from England, kind of like he's coming back from injury.
Right. So now I think like John is saying, it is upward trend in which if we keep clicking and keep sinking in the attacking third, and then we start, Jensen starts getting in rhythm and starts being that anchor again, definitely we're gonna be solid. I do feel, and I feel another thing is the newcomers are paying off dividends tremendously. Muriel is playing like a newcomer. um, Muriel is playing like a newcomer, like a new player. The young cats are thriving. Gerbet,
He played
Freeman,
like 85 minutes last game, man. He
right?
almost did the full game.
Caraballo. I mean, the cats are the young cats are really balling, and I think if that keeps going, we'll see. Now we're gonna get the chance to see Otero in this next game because Pedro's gonna be with Peru. What are your expectations of that, Paola, of Otero? You've seen OCB.
I mean, he has big shoes to fill, but yesterday he had a good game.
Tremendous game, yeah.
So I feel confident.
Definitely the reward.
I know that the coaches made him the second goalie just for a good reason, right? Because they have seen his development. He's ready to debut on the first team. So I'm ready to see what he can do for us in the first team when Pedro is not here.
All right, so we have Otero with OCB. We're gonna do the OCB minute, right? The OCB minute.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta always do an OCB update. That's the plan. We gotta make sure we don't forget about OCB this year, Luis, because these boys, like we said before, are on the verge of being in the first team. Javier Otero, especially, I wanted to see how he performed. He got 5 saves in this game. He made a few during the match, and then he made some penalty saves. The team, I feel like, was probably the best OCB team we could have put out there, and by that I mean like they included almost every one of those guys that's on the fringe. Like Colin Gusky was out there, obviously Otero, Shaq Mohammed, and then also guys who came off the bench, like Caraballo came off the bench. So the guys that were on the road made it back in time to go join them at OCB on Sunday, so they could actually get some minutes in MLS Next Pro. Justin Ellis, what a goal that was for the first one. He scored an absolute banger, showed a lot of maturity, I think, Luis, to play that 1-2 on the edge of the box, and then a great finish where he curled it into the far corner and then did an awesome celebration off to the side, which was great to see. So he had a great game. And then Shaq Mohammed's goal, another beauty, a great ball across from Taifi. Came right across to Shaq, and he just smacked it like a volley. I believe it was a volley, right, Luis? It went into the net.
Yeah.
Hit kind of right off the cross coming in for Shaq Mohammed, which was a great finish for him. Defensively, there was some lapses. Of course, we did let Atlanta United 2 get a lot of shots. The stats they had, you can see here, 22 shots total. So I feel like part of the game plan was for us to, not necessarily always have the ball for OCB, right? I think that they're a bit more of a team that wants to be a counter-attacking squad. But a decent game. We could have won it. There was a couple chances at the end of the match where we got pretty close. So would have been nice to win it in regulation, but then we go to the actual penalty shootout, and Javier Otero makes some great saves. We all score penalties. I believe it was like Atlanta missed their first 2. So yeah, it looked like we were going to win it, and they got the 2 points. So OCB with a good start to the season. They are now right here. They got 5 points. So they got 3 from the win in the first game and 2, which puts them in 4th place in the standings.
Now, I do want to say Justin Ellis, Shaq Mohammed, Tahir Reed Brown, Taifi, all those cats, we're going to see them in the first team at some point in the season. Why? Because they've all been sparring with the first team, and they're all part of the Oscar system too. Now, Justin Ellis, to me, has the most promise, one of the most promising young talents that we currently have, in my opinion. I think he's a tremendous. I mean, he already killed it with the national team, and I think this is going to be his year. So hopefully he keeps scoring at OCB. Hopefully, he has big shoes to fill because of former OCB starlet, man. Jack Hammerlin, man. He won the MLS Next Pro MVP. goal scorer and all of that. So, yep. So let's read some comments real quick here. So Alonso's talking. Says, I don't think DC is losing any players for FIFA. Loyola needs to play. I want to see Otero versus Venteke. Thank you, Alonso. So the goals killed Pedro, but not the defense. Robin lost the ball, and Pedro had to save. Is Alonso. Without Gallese, Red Bull would have scored easy 3 more goals. There you go. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Carlos Mejia, do you guys think Caraballo will play for Venezuela or the U.S.?
I think Venezuela are gonna be tapping him up in no time, bro.
I think Venezuela is more keen of signing him now. I think it's a matter of who gets to the race first.
I think Venezuela are gonna be hungry to try and get his signature quickly.
I don't know if Pochettino is ready. I don't think he follows Orlando City.
I believe it's until he's 20. I can't remember what age. Yes, till he declares. Right? He can play a certain amount. Like he doesn't have to pick immediately. But I'm with you, Luis. I think Venezuela are going to come knocking.
I think Venezuela are going to. And then they have that kid from LAFC, which I would have loved in Orlando City. I forgot his name. He's so good, man. That kid's so good. He looks like Sideshow Bob. Anyway.
Alonso, he says, don't think he can travel to Venezuela. He probably, it might be a difficult political situation. Definitely. There's issues going on there at the moment, as I'm well aware. But like there's a lot of guys in MLS that play for Venezuela. They don't always do it in their country, right? So there are ways around that. But I feel like it would be a while before he would feature in the first. I feel like they'd be coming at him to be like, hey, let's get you involved in, Venezuelan youth as soon as possible. I don't know if he's ready to start for Venezuelan national team just yet.
Yeah, let's do some more comments real quick here. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to. There you go. Kelsey Portland, David Martinez. Yeah, David Martinez. Yeah, he's a beast. He's balling. Yeah, he's balling, man. And it says, we only had 2 goals in the first 4 games last season. I'm pleased with the offense so far. Gerbet did well, says James Regis. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody. To everybody that's watching. We do want to say, and we'll go into the preview for DC United. So far, for what I know, is that they don't have a lot of players in international duty. So they're going to be with a full squad.
Oh man!
What are your expectations?
Is Benteke not getting called up? Like what?
Yeah, Benteke's not getting called up.
Yo, I'd be called up Benteke till he's like 45, man. You can always head the ball in. I don't care how old you are. You can stand in the box.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But yeah, DC or DC, man. I feel like we're gonna. Is it a different DC from last year? I don't think so. I think it's the same, right? It's just gotta mark Benteke. They're gonna lump balls into him. And like Alonso says, I'm excited by having Otero in there because we need a giant to like literally just come out and pick the ball off like Benteke's head. Or we need David Brecalo back to be able to jump and compete with him. Like no lies, like Schlegel, we saw it last year. I've seen it too many times. You've seen it. Love Schlegel, but he is not a big center back. And when Benteke jump, he's getting knocked over. Jansen maybe can hang with Benteke, but it hasn't been good in the past. So honestly, right now, we just don't have a center back or anybody that can deal with him. And like, it's just a size thing. So if Javier can play well and claim the ball in the box and be like, come out and grab it ahead of Benteke, great. Or if one of our center backs can really step up and actually man mark him, which is a big task to say. I mean, I'm complaining, but it's probably very difficult to do, right? He is a very difficult guy to mark. We just don't physically, in my opinion, have somebody who can match up to marking him.
The season just started. Obviously, it's obvious. But I do want to say, and I want to bring something up. People in the off season, and that's what I'm saying, that the MLS is a really difficult league to analyze, and sometimes stats are something, but you have to also see the team could have the best stats, the best strikers, the best players, but are they playing truly the best of the ability, or do they have a good schedule? Look at Orlando, look at Atlanta, and look how much they both spent this season so far. Atlanta spent like how much? Like 48 million? Right.
Like 30 million, yeah.
Orlando City, $5. Right? $5 in a packet of of gum, compared to 48 million, right? So, and look, we are right now 11th, almost the same amount of points. So it's ever changing. Right now, DC United, it's 9th. It's 2 points away from where we are right now. So this is a game in which I feel is set to, again, we need to become really strong at home. I think it was one of our flaws for the past few seasons. We always had these games that we play against opposition that we knew we were better at, on paper. And even with our attack and all of that, and we lost the games, important games. We let points go. And I think if we want to change things around and change the tide, we need to grab those points by the throat. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think the Lions need to come out strong, need to come out with no fear in their eyes, do what they did in the first few minutes against the Red Bulls, which is a very good physical, intense battle. I do feel the Red Bulls are 10 times better than this DC team. And I feel like Orlando has a huge chance. Now, I have full faith in Otero. But again, you have to understand, it's his first game. Literally, we're going to see him in a massive, decisive game, like a game that's going to take us probably up the playoff threshold. So, I have full faith that he's gonna do well. My expectations are pretty high in this game. Again, I feel like Orlando's gonna score 3 goals. And these we may concede 1. But again, this has to be a good showdown for the fans. I think the fans deserve it, especially the fans who travel, which I do want to say. Massive kudos to the fans that travel to New Jersey.
That was awesome. There was a lot of
That
purple.
is insane. You guys
Wait,
are.
I thought they went to New York. I'm confused. It was the New York Red Bulls.
Oh, well, they're New York,
wait.
but
they play in Jersey. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were some Peruvians there. I don't know what support the Red Bulls. Come on, man.
Yeah,
they're trying.
It's another club playing in a city and naming themselves another city.
Yeah, they should change their name. It's kind of like in basketball, the New Jersey Nets. What happened to that team?
I've heard some people
Brooklyn,
say that they should change to the New Jersey and then have like that rivalry.
Yeah.
I would
agree.
be against it.
I think it would be the New Jersey Red Bulls. I think it'd be great.
Anyway, oldest joke in the book, right?
We take the trains to Jersey. So you took Landon the train to New Jersey from Orlando.
I saw Landon on the after the goal. I think it was after the Paslich goal.
Oh, really?
To the crowd, and Landon was
That's
like,
awesome.
That's
front
awesome.
row. So yeah, shout out to him and everybody else that made that.
Shout out to Landon.
But yeah, they flew to New York and then took the train to New Jersey, obviously.
Oh, okay. I was to take the Amtrak all the way to.
They just went
like 30 hours.
I mean, you could if it wasn't such a terrible service. It cost like $1,000.
From Manhattan, there you go. From Manhattan, there you go.
You take the Amtrak and stop every 5 minutes all the way to New York.
You gotta get coffee. Got some coffee, man. Coffee.
My mom English is like
bacon,
that.
egg, and cheese. Funny. They got all the New York things. Luis, it's all New York for us. We played New York City, then we played Rebels, then we're playing Gotham for the Pride this week. It's like enough with these New York teams. New
York, man.
Can we chill?
Anyways, we're gonna do the preview and the lineup for the upcoming game. Let's pull it up real quick here. Obviously, no Otero. Well, sorry, no Pedro Gallese.
Luis, while you do that, it's funny you mentioned I trust Javier Otero, but do you really trust the rest of the defense line? I'm just kidding. I wanted to say that.
Well,
hopefully Jansen has a better game than against the Red Bulls.
I think at home Orlando needs to become strong with the crowd, with the wall, you know. And I mean, it's DC. I mean, lo and behold, I mean, yeah, we're not supposed to overlook to any rival for sure, but I feel like on paper and what we've seen in the last 4 games for the Lions, we are the superior team. We shouldn't be afraid of saying that we're a little better than them. Now, um, hopefully they're able to capitalize. And if they do, it will take us further up. Depending on the results as well. So we'll see. Do you feel like they're gonna lose, Paola?
No. I was just joking around because it was just a joke. It was just a joke. I just wanted to throw that there. No, I'm not. I don't think that we're gonna lose on Saturday.
Well, if we're still as shaky at the back and Otero kills it, then it really shows there's got not much to do with Pedro. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be an interesting test. What is the back line? How does it look different is it gonna look worse, better? Who knows?
There you go. So in Otero we trust for this game. Otero,
yeah.
Your back of 4, I think it's gonna be do you agree, Freeman?
Yeah.
Jensen, Schlegel, Jensen.
Schlegel. And I think Kyle Smith's getting back in.
Yep. Kyle Smith as well. Do you like Paola Rafa coming off the bench?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Do you like Rafa Santos coming off the bench?
Off the bench? Yeah. And I mean,
Paula's dog
for the last 5 minutes,
crazy.
Yeah, of course. 5 minutes, yeah.
Her dog, I could tell, is under the desk, just going
yeah, she's
crazy.
under my desk. That's why she's like. Sorry about that, but yeah. I mean, the last 3 minutes of the game, 5 minutes. Why not bring him?
Are we gonna see Araujo back?
I have no idea.
No idea what happened to him. Like, do you guys know? I haven't seen anything. Did he become a dad already? Like, I don't know.
I mean, we were told it was an injury, so they said that.
Oh, it was an injury?
Yeah, he was pulled.
Ay, Dios mío, no.
He felt something, and they got him out for that.
It was a little
but he traveled, right, Luis? I believe.
I don't know.
So it must have been the day before while they were training, or I don't know when it happened, but he wasn't in the start. He wasn't even on the bench. Like, it wasn't like they just put him on the bench, so we'll see. Who knows what it is, but so far, zero information on how long that's going to be. So probably, I mean, maybe Cesar's back. Maybe it was just a 1 week thing. It could be longer, but if not, then Gerbet steps up again, right?
Yeah, Gerbet did great. I think Gerbet did great.
I also think Colin Gusky is going to get more opportunities, so I wouldn't be surprised we bring him off the bench at some point in a game like this. Like,
yeah,
for real, he is the other, fourth guy.
Now, Muriel or Ramiro Enrique?
You say it, John.
Look,
I mean, if the guy is on in a good position right now, like, just start Muriel, and then if he's shaky, just bring Enrique on.
I think finally we're seeing signs of what we want Muriel to be. And I think Oscar is encouraging him, and then I think to drop him would discourage him. And he's got either a goal or assist every game. So whether he's producing goals as the 9, he is helping the team in some way. And every game he is assisting in some way. And that was the biggest criticism with him, even in preseason and all of last year, is he just didn't look like he was adding anything to the team. Now he is. So arguably you could say he is the guy. And Ramiro, as hot as he looked at the end of last year, hasn't really done that much at the beginning of this year. Like, he's had some good moments, but he's not on a heater, not scoring. So I think Muriel's going to get back in, man. I didn't think we'd be saying that this quick, but right now,
Don't jinx him, man. Don't jinx him.
It's Muriel's spot, and like I said, he almost played 90 minutes. So
yeah, not only that,
I think if we can get him up to full 90, great.
I mean, we're paying him
we got
a lot,
three strikers, three very good strikers. Any of them you could play, and I would feel happy. So plus we got 3 DPs on the field, all contributing at once. Luis, who are we? What is this?
Exactly, right? And then not only that, Atuesta, Angulo, and Muriel have that triangle that if they start syncing really well, like we're looking into some Colombian flavor right here for Orlando City, man. It's gonna be that Colombian corner right there, the Colombian burger. You know what I mean?
If anyone's spot is up for question right now, like it's Ivan Angulo. I gotta say, like the man has not done, like defensively, he's always there, but attacking wise, well, even that has been questionable this year. Yeah,
I was gonna throw
attacking wise, it's been a complete goose egg for him so far this year. I don't think I've remembered one moment where I'm like, oh, like there's like a, I'm just not seeing Angulo get into positions where he's.
I was gonna ask you guys, like, do you think that Angulo needs competition right now for his spot? Like, had that pressure that he needs to play better?
I think there's no Cicada that would have been competition.
Utaro would have been.
Rodriguez is injured. Rodriguez.
Nico Rodriguez. Talking about Nico Rodriguez, he bought all his furniture from IKEA. I saw it on his social media. Took a week to put it together.
That's record time, bro.
I can't do it, bro. No, I'm just kidding. No, well, he did buy his stuff from. I saw his furniture and all that stuff, but.
Yeah, man. First apartment, he's probably got like a cool lamp and like a rug, and he's got to get settled in.
Hopefully, we see him back. I think he had a little bit of a knock. They were just holding them due to precaution. But he says Nick is injured from being tight and from his wallet.
That's a good one, Alonso.
Yo, there ain't no 21-year-old who doesn't have IKEA furniture. I'll tell you that right now. They all
I still have IKEA furniture when I move over here, so it's fine.
It doesn't matter if you're getting paid big bucks. You're still gonna buy your furniture from
IKEA. They should. He needs a new haircut, man.
Who?
Nico?
You don't like the style?
You don't like the. I think I love it, man. It's so South American. I'm all about it. I'm like, don't lose your cutting edge, bro. I'm about it. He's got fade.
I think that's popular cool now because Alec has it. Like all his friends has it.
The young kids love that.
What is that? Like a mullet? Like a mullet?
It's like a mullet kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a South American mullet / like like they also. Like shave in above their ears as well, so it's like.
I mean, Duncan has it. If you see his cut, it's not.
Yeah, but that's more like an American Midwest mullet. You know what I mean?
You just need a mustache.
Yeah. Duncan just looks like an Australian when he wears a mullet.
Hopefully not like a roper.
No.
But anyways, back to the question, guys. Ivan Angulo, like he needs competition. I don't know. I feel him off.
How did we get from Ivan Angulo to Duncan McGuire's hair? That's but yes, he's just not looking good, and I feel like he could turn around. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think Oscar's going to. Of
course not. He doesn't. Who will replace him right now if Nico is injured right now? I mean, Ramiro can play that position.
Yeah. What I would do is bring Muriel off and then put Duncan on and then take Angulo off whenever you want and bring on Enrique and let Enrique play that left wing because he does look good in that left wing whenever we've seen him.
But I just wanted to say, because I know people in X are talking about Ivan Angulo and me myself, like I was like, I need to ask this to the guys. Like I feel that Ivan Angulo or needs, I don't know, a revamp or something, or a little bit of competition. He's too comfortable. Like, he knows that he's going to start. And I don't know. So I just wanted to poke your brains on that one.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of that, but I think also he just goes through periods
he
where
struggles and then he comes back.
Is there's like the basement of Angulo and then the ceiling of Angulo, and when he's at his ceiling, he's a pretty good player in MLS, but when he's basement, he's just kind of an average MLS player, and that's the Angulo we got right now. We need to see the Angulo that can be more than the sum of his parts.
Part of it could be he's getting a little comfortable because the whole attacking third is scoring goals, doing assists, like talking about Muriel, talking about Pasalic, talking about Ojeda, and so he feels maybe, hey, I'll just take a little step back here. Or also it could be phasing, tough competition, just maybe the schedule, and it's just gonna get better. I just feel like he had so many. He was the player that had the most minutes the past 2 seasons. So I think maybe he's having a slow start this year because everybody else is shining. Now I do feel like competition and maybe having somebody like Nico who maybe bring the best out of him. When he feels. I mean, think about it. He comes from a team that benched him like throughout his whole tenure there, send them, loan them into different places. Didn't get not even 200 minutes with Palmeiras, so he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to lose his spot, And I think Oscar puts all eggs in the basket with him. He's a huge part of the locker room now as well. But we'll see. Hopefully against DC is the game that he just takes off again. And I think a good Angulo is gonna just make our offense even way more dangerous and way more unpredictable because the way the wings like Facu and Ivan will turn on and off in certain games, especially in the later part of the season last year. It's really what set apart Orlando City from the rest of the teams. So I feel like he has it in him. It's just that maybe right now, Atuesta is grabbing more of that ball control that he used to have because he's more of like a ball hog, Atuesta, of holding that ball, pacing it. He was doing that before. So maybe he feels now he's more of just like a straight winger, like pass me the ball, I run through the flank, try to cut into defenders and all of that. And he's having a little trouble of that as of late,
Gotcha. Okay.
All right,
I
guys,
just wanted to poke your brain, so thank you for that.
No problem. Here's our lineup. Otero up top. You have Freeman, Schlegel, Jensen, and Kyle Smith as your back four. Cesar Araujo and Atuesta as your D-mids. Ojeda as your number 10. Pasalic on the right. Angulo on the left. And Luis Muriel up top as your number 9. Orlando City against DC United. Predictions. John, what will be your prediction for this game?
Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of context. DC in their first 4 games played Toronto, Chicago, Sporting KC, and Montreal. All teams that are not good, in my opinion. They only managed to draw against Toronto. That's bad. They only managed to draw against Chicago. That's pretty bad. They managed to beat Sporting KC by 2-1, but Sporting KC are terrible. And then they had a draw 0-0 against Montreal. We're the best team they've played so far. Will be for sure, 100%. The biggest threat is Benteke. Like I said, he's the problem. He's probably going to get a goal at some point, just based on history playing us and size that he is. I think they're going to get one, but I think we're going to smack their defense around. The last few game weeks, Luis, I've been a bit tame with my predictions. And I am not doing that with this team anymore. We're scoring goals, and I think it's going to be a 5-2.
No
5-2?
5-2. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
5-2. I'm going big. I'm going bold.
Pasalic's first hat trick.
Ooh.
I was really thinking there could be a hat trick in there. There could be.
Yeah.
DC, like they are okay defensively, but we've seen when we play teams like DC, I believe our attack will get the better of them. Now, they're going to be, whipping balls into Benteke. We're going to have to look out for that. But I believe the way they play with this like 5-back, I think we're going to open up real problems for them. And I just think our attack is going to be too much for them. And like I said, they haven't played anybody really good yet. And they've already conceded goals to Toronto and Chicago and Sporting KC. So for me, I think we're going to beat up on them. I'm Luis. You're always out here with the big scoreline prediction. I'm going 5-2. 2 because Benteke plus bad defense equals 2 goals.
Well, Paola, your prediction?
3-1.
Okay, good. Oh my God, 3-1. Any particular?
I will say Muriel will get 1 goal. Pasalic will get another goal. Maybe 2. 2 for Marco and 1 for Muriel. I will leave it like that.
All right. So I'm gonna go for a 4-1 Orlando City win. We're gonna see Duncan on the scoreline. We're gonna see Duncan on the scoreline, Pasalic hopefully with a brace, and hopefully Luis Muriel. And I feel Benteke is gonna get a penalty. I think something's gonna happen there, and they're gonna give DC.
Who's gonna force it? Jansen again?
I'm not sure, but I just think that Benteke is he's kind of like Choupo-Moting in a way.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's very experienced. He knows how to press buttons. We have a young. It could be Freeman's penalty. It could be Kyle as well. I just think that Benteke is definitely going to get one in. Whether if it's a penalty or if it's a regular, I think we're gonna get a goal against. Now, if it's our first shutout, it's gonna be fantastic.
It'd be great to get a shutout.
It'd be great to get a shutout.
And I say Benteke. It's great to get a shutout.
It'd be great to get a shutout against Benteke.
That's how I look at it. He's the guy who causes us so many problems.
Again, think about this. People talking about comparing themselves to Atlanta. Why don't we spend money like Atlanta? Why don't we spend money like Cincinnati? And this league especially the East, is so competitive. We got to be patient. We're on to something, and look at Atlanta in the standings. If they lose, who they're playing against? They're playing against Cincinnati. So Cincinnati can take off in the standings, and we can win and be right in the coattails of Cincinnati, and Atlanta could be succumbed down in the bottom with $48 million of new players.
I mean, the table right now, like Atlanta should not be down here. We should not be here. Red Bull should not be down here. Cincy should not be down here. You got 4 teams that I don't say like have started badly, but we just haven't, perhaps had the best start ever, right? We had an average start. So I think all of these teams are going to get better, and they're going to rise up the league and start competing up here with the likes of Philly and Columbus and Charlotte, who are teams that I kind of now expect.
Well, we didn't expect Philly to be that high.
We didn't expect, yeah. Philly, I think Philly will.
Less, but we forget that they were a top 4 team.
Charlotte was onto something, but they're only 3 points away.
Charlotte do not underestimate Charlotte this year. They have a very good defense, and they have improved attack.
I feel like they're going to fall.
I rate Charlotte more than Atlanta right now.
I feel right now. I mean, again, I'm super positive. I may be mistaken. Hopefully, I don't jinx it. But I feel Orlando is going to race up a little bit. Is going to, start winning a little more. And I feel based on their schedule, they could have a little bit more of a trouble and drop a little bit. Yep. It is possible. It is possible.
Yeah, I mean that one of these teams is not going to get back up there, like Cincy or Red Bulls, or like someone's not going to have, a season. But I expect us to climb the table.
I think, yeah. And look, Charlotte has a really favorable schedule coming up. They're playing at home. They're playing San Jose. And then after that, they have two tough matchups, in my opinion. Colorado, which is always tough in Colorado. And then they have Nashville at home. So anything can happen. And it's the MLS. That's the unpredictability of the league, Now, let's read some comments before we go, and then we'll wrap up. It says, I love the Lewis fan voice. Nico's injured from tight and wallet, says Alonso. Thank you, Alonso. Appreciate it. But anyways, we wanted to thank you for your support. Keep supporting Loud and Proud Orlando. We're available on all social media outlets. We're available on YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando, LPO Podcasts, _podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts as well. Also on X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, Loud and Proud Orlando. There you go. You want to show that before we go?
Yeah, man. Fabian Rankel out there on Twitter asking what's the most iconic MLS photo of all time, and I put this one up of the guy from Philly chasing Raquinho with a trash can, which is, and so I wanted to kind of show the end of the show here a nice little fun image. Don't forget Raquinho. He's gonna be back one day, man. He went on long permanent contract out, but he'll come back one day and play again in MLS. So excited for the return of Raquinho. But great pod, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Like Luis said, please like and follow and do all those things for us. We appreciate it. Everyone who likes and comments, we always try and spend time to get back to you and try and reply to your comments, whatever social media platform that is. You can leave it and we will try and get back to you and engage in conversation. So thank you to all of you guys.
We're closing with about 90 people live. Thank you so much for your support. If you're on X, retweet the video on your social media, pass the word around. If you're on YouTube, also subscribe, spread the word. And again, thank you for your support. Thank you, Paula and John. Thank you guys, and vamos Orlando. Take care, guys.
Orlando.
Have a good one.
Vamos Orlando.